If you read the trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, you find throughout his stories different songs that are composed by Pippin, Frodo, and Sam, and all the rest of them, about their experiences in the Hobbit and the Shire and all throughout as they go towards the land of Mordor and all the rest of it. They sing songs to encourage, to comfort, to enlighten, songs of triumph and victory and celebration, songs perhaps even of somewhat gloom and despair. But singing is very much a part of Middle-earth. If that is true of an imaginary world, should it not be so of the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ, who lives in the real world, who sees things as they actually are, who has victories occurring that far surpass anything in any work of literature or even in all of human history? The battles at Gettysburg, what have you, have nothing to compare with the victory Christ won for us on the cross. We should sing. But Isaiah exhorts us to sing because we are slow to sing. On these matters, we are blinded so often by our prejudice, by our self-centeredness, our focus on self, that we don't naturally, in and of ourselves, just reach out and glorify the Lord. Isaiah understood the nature of sin in the human heart. And so therefore, even we who are redeemed, who are regenerated by the Lord Jesus Christ, need to be encouraged to sing. To make that a part of your life. Every day, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing His praise in all the earth. It's a general exhortation that we need to listen to, because it brings such help and encouragement to each of us. When you look at the nature of human language, language at every end of the spectrum has a certain, as John Frame calls it, a certain musicality to it. There's a certain rhythm, a tone to all of our human language. You remember even Ezekiel the prophet was commended by many in his day who came to listen to him as though they came to listen to one who was singing a song or playing skillfully on the harp. There was a lyric quality to his preaching that people came to hear. When you look at different cultures and examine how they tried to make things known and impress them on their followers, they used poetry, kind of an enlivened form of language, which in an illiterate age, by and large, helped people to remember what was being said. And so treaties and documents and these kinds of things sometimes were in poetic form, so they could be remembered. And you find in the history of redemption, when God works among His people, they do break out in song. And His great works are recorded for us in hymn form. Remember Israel delivered out of Egypt. They crossed the Red Sea, and there behind them the waters collapse over the enemies, over the armies of Pharaoh. They stand on the other side, saved and redeemed. When a moment ago they were facing the waters behind them and Pharaoh in front of them, and they had no idea of how they would escape. But God came and powerfully opened the waters, let them walk through, and then when Pharaoh tried to go through, He closed the waters upon them and destroyed them. Now what did Israel do on the other side of the banks? He sang the song of the redeemed, a song of the divine warrior who came on behalf of His people and fought for them and destroyed their enemies. They sang the song of redemption. Later, as they were about to enter into the land of Canaan, Moses wanted to impress upon the hearts of the people of God the importance of obeying the covenant. He wanted to enforce upon them the necessity that the Lord laid on them to follow His will and covenant. And so He impressed it on them in the form of a song, the Song of Moses. Read through it in Deuteronomy chapter 32. It's probably not one that you would pick up in your hymnal. Not one that you would ordinarily sing. but it's elevated poetic language designed to impress upon the hearts of the people of God the importance of what is being said. So what we see in the use of these hymns in the Old Covenant period of time is first that God impresses His Word on His people in powerful ways through music and song. You have probably had the experience of watching a television show or a commercial and having the jingle ring in your mind from time to time thereafter. It just can't get out of your head. Why? Well, music has a certain power to reach into your heart. And that message is secured there. It suggests to us then that we ought to be very careful about the kind of music we listen to. So many young people today turn on music without paying attention to the words at all. They're moved by the music, the beat, the energy of the song. And they just mouth the words, not realizing that these things are getting into their minds and their hearts. A pagan, ungodly mindset is capturing their hearts and working within them. They just blindly accept it all because they like the sound, they like the beat. Everyone's excited about it. They're bashing their heads and all this kind of thing. Music has a certain power to it. Power to bless and power to curse. In any case, Isaiah exhorts the church to sing to the Lord a new song. He exhorts the whole people of God in all of life, in all of the world, to join in on this song. He talks of those who are going off into the seas, the sailors, who would explore the depths of the seas and go off into business, perhaps going off to distant islands for business purposes. And he says even those islands themselves should join in on the song and sing the praises of the Lord. And after looking to the west, Isaiah in turn looks to the east and sees the deserts of the Arabia and says to all those who are off in the deserts, those who are nomads, and those even the barbarian mountain people, they too ought to sing the praises of the Lord. From east to west, from barbarian to cultivated, civilized society, all should sing the praises of the Lord. With a lifted up voice, with a shout, with joy. You see, there's to be energy and emotion, feeling in these songs and hymns. So Isaiah exhorts and commands us to sing, to make music and song a part of life, part of our church.